Okay, let me get this straight. $2,200 for a cinema camera that is capable of recording 6K 60 frames per second red code RAW, and a body that's under 1.5 pounds, and features an absolutely massive 4-inch LCD screen, with maybe a slightly too shallow hand grip. So a few months ago on the Waveform podcast, I had this prediction. I wonder if Nikon, who is really affordable, coming together with RED means that we're going to get something that's more affordable with the RED logo on it. But I had no idea it was going to happen this soon. This is the Nikon ZR. It is the two companies' very first original product. In early 2024, Nikon, who has a reputation for being slow to adapt new technologies, especially when it comes to video, acquired RED, which is a company that's known for making professional-grade cinema cameras.
Nikon just bought RED? How is this even possible? A potato flew around my room.
And a year later, we got a glimpse at what this relationship meant for consumers. A Nikon Z mount for 2 RED cinema cameras. Okay, fine. But then a few months after that, we got a whole-ass camera. One that is incredibly priced, and also one that I only had a few hours with. So please don't consider this a review, it is simply a hands-on, but I did get to use 2 of the Nikon ZRs, so I got to film almost all of the footage you're gonna see from them. Let's first talk hardware. The outside of the ZR mostly mimics other small, more budget-friendly cinema-focused cameras. It's a rectangular box with a power button, a photo-video switch, hot shoe, record or shutter button, zoom toggle, and 3 customizable buttons that I think should have been 1 on the left and 3 on the right, but Nikon is a Japanese company after all. Around back, there's only 2 buttons and a D-pad along with a dial. And lastly, 1 dial and 1 record button on the front. I am a bit surprised at how few buttons and dials there are. Nikon historically loads their cameras with, like 1 million customizable buttons, but it is clear from the hardware and some other things we'll talk about later that Nikon was trying to keep the size of this camera to a minimum. Port-wise, you're looking at a headphone jack and a mic jack, a USB-C port, and disappointingly a micro HDMI. Not a huge fan of that choice because those cables are usually not as durable and the ports are just not as reliable. The other bummer is the single CF Express Type B slot and, this is gonna seem weird, micro SD card slot. I would have much preferred, dual slots of really any sorts other than a micro SD card slot, but again, it's clear Nikon is trying to keep the size of this camera down. I forgot to take a video of the card compartment and also the battery compartment, but this camera uses a classic Nikon battery that's right here. I can never remember the name of it because who the hell can remember that? It is in pretty much every mirrorless Nikon camera, except for maybe the small ones that use a smaller battery. And yeah, for the most part, it is quite reliable. I got about 3 to 4 hours of shooting on it before it quit on me. I was mostly shooting 4K 24 and 4K 50 footage with the screen brightness all the way up and about 90-degree heat or 32 degrees Celsius. That battery life is pretty on par with other cameras of this type. Now what that battery is powering though, that is unlike cameras of this type, is the giant 4-inch LCD screen. It is the hallmark hardware feature of this camera. It is bright, the touchscreen is reliable, and it is simply incredible to have a screen that large that just folds right back into the camera itself. One hardware feature that is missing is a fan. In my time with it, even though I was out in the heat, I didn't experience any overheating, but I'm not ruling that out because how? All right, let's talk about what's inside the camera. Internally, there's a 24 megapixel full frame partially stacked sensor, which is presumably the same sensor that's in the Nikon Z6 Mark III, which you are seeing me from now. It supports internal recording up to 12-bit red code RAW or NRAW at 6K 60, and both of those codecs have dual base ISOs of 800 or 6400. If you want to internally shoot 12-bit ProRes RAW, your max is 6K 30. Nikon is promising 15 stops of dynamic range, a max recording time of 125 minutes, and 7.5 stops of internal stabilization, which I found to be mostly fine, but not quite as stable as the 8 stops of IBIS that are in the Lumix S1 Mark II, which I shoot pretty much all products handheld with. It's no deal breaker though, because of course, a little warp stabilizer goes a long way. There are also many picture control options or color tuning looks from both Nikon and RED, and the ability to record 32-bit float audio. Nikon will also be releasing this shotgun mic that patches in via the hot shoe. Audio people, does this shotgun mic setup look funny to you? I don't know if I just haven't been studying shotgun mics, but why is it not longer? And where is the mic? but also I'm not an audio person, so please let me know. Lastly, the camera menus are all Nikon coded and the focus settings as well. Those utilize Nikon's X-Speed 7 processor. So those are all the base specs of Nikon's new ZR. And like I said, I only had a few hours with it, but the thing that I can't stop thinking about is its price. Like, you get red color science, or Nikon if you so choose, but then you also get all of the photo and video specs of a Nikon hybrid camera and a camera body that is very small and light for what it can do, with a massive 4-inch screen, plus the Z mount, which is a very adaptable lens mount, all for $2,200? That's insane. What do you think? Am I like going crazy here? That's like a really good deal. Like, the only things that are missing is there's no open gate, which stinks for anamorphic folks or anybody who is skilled enough to frame for 16:9 and 9:16, which is not me. And then a native like audio top handle grip. Nikon will try to sell you this, but that just looks clunky and expensive, and I wish Nikon would just condense it all and make something that was, you know, truly unique to this camera. And then there also might be the trade-off of a lack of a fan. Nikon assures me this won't be a problem, but like, again, how? That's all I got for the Nikon ZR at the moment. I'm sure folks are gonna call it an FX3 killer because, of course. Let me know what you think of it down below. As always, I'll see you down there. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.